Hey everybody, it's Yolanda with Experience Tibet. It's Sunday morning here in the west coast of the United States, and greetings to everybody. Hope you're great. So today I'm here to talk about, this is the first in a series of videos about preparing for a trip to Mount Kailash in the Tibetan Autonomous Region in Tibet. For myself, I'm actually going on this trip in a few months in the fall of 2017. I'm going to be going to Mount Kailash, and I just wanted to share with you, first of all, why I'm interested in going on this trip. So a major reason is that it's a major pilgrimage for Tibetan Buddhists, and four of the world's religions consider Mount Kailash to be the most holy mountain in the world. So Tibetan Buddhist, Jains, Hindus, and Bon people all consider it to be a very sacred mountain. So that's making a pilgrimage there is very appealing to me. Also, it's physically should be an incredible journey, just gorgeous, and it's also very high altitude. It goes to over 18,000 feet, the Domala Pass, and so that's a challenge that I'm kind of excited about. And then another major reason that I want to go on this trip is that many of our travelers many of you guys ask about going to trips to Mount Kailash. And so we wanted to make a kind of test case of making an itinerary and a plan and a path that is the best for acclimatizing, the safest, most healthy way to feel good and be safe on this trip. So I'm going to be your kind of guinea pig and take this path in September and show you guys. So we'll be making some videos for the next couple months until the trip, and then while I'm on the trip as well. And this is the first one, and so for this first one, I wanted to talk about scheduling and deadlines. It's a very common question that people ask us when they should schedule their different parts of their trip. So basically, I'm a planner. I like to I don't like to keep things close to the deadlines. So for me, and you just take what you like and leave the rest. But for myself, I would start about a year out doing your researching, planning. You can start talking to your travel agents. You must have a travel agent for a trip to the Tibetan Autonomous Region. So you can start talking to your travel agents a year in advance, no problem. They can give you so much useful advice. So a year in advance, you can just start the conversation, but the more critical deadlines start happening more within the 6-month period. So the first one I would talk about is at about 4 months, and this is not a deadline, it's just a very helpful thing, to book your international flights. So international flights, some resources say at about 4 months, that's kind of the sweet spot for the cheaper fares. And that may change, and so you guys, I'm sure, have a lot of information about this through the years, and please jump in and share your experience and your thoughts about that, because I would love to hear it. So for myself, I have this kind of idea about a general timeline of about 4 months out for international flights. Another is about 3 months out, you need to start looking at your Chinese visa. So between 3 and 1 month to get your Chinese visa. And another great thing about the 3 month deadline is with our partner travel agents, you can get a 5% discount off your trip if you book it 3 months out, which is super helpful for some people who are on a budget. And then at about 2 months out, so 60 days, a very critical deadline is your Tibet train tickets. So you need to buy your you need to apply for your Tibet train tickets to get the information in about 60 days out at 2 months. And that's because many people don't realize, but these trains are in incredible high demand. And so either you're not able to it's very common people not getting the tickets, or everybody wants a soft sleeper on the train from, let's say, Xining to Lhasa. And the day they go on sale, they start to book out. So if you're booking it yourself, some people are, you're living in China and you know how to use the train system, that's all fine, but you want to get that as early as possible. And of course, if you're using a travel agent, you want to book with them. They'll need your passport and your visa, a copy of your visa at 60 days in order to to get those train tickets for you. Another critical timeline factor is about 2 months out. You need to make your first conversations with your doctor or with your travel doctor. We actually recommend that you talk to both your doctor and a travel doctor. So you want to make those conversations, because many people, depending where you're going in Tibet, you may need to have special vaccinations, like a pre-rabies vaccination. That takes quite an amount of time. You need the shots have to be kind of spaced out. So if you're doing anything going into rural Tibet, like for example, on this trip to Kailash, I'm getting the pre-vaccine for sure. And you need plenty of time to do that. And then other sequences of shots, you may need time to do that. So just start early with your doctor. The first consultation at least 2 months out. And then about a month out, you can get your domestic flights. So your domestic flights in mainland China don't need to be, you don't have to book them as far out as you may want to book flights in the United States, for example. So actually our travel agents say about a 30-day limit is a good time, and you will often need your permit for that. So, but not always. So apparently it's kind of like, sometimes you need the permit, sometimes you don't, but you want to book those about a month in advance. And then the last one, and one of the most critical ones, is our agents and most agents require about 3 weeks, like from a month to 3 weeks in advance to get your permits. So many people ask about your Tibet travel permits, your special permits for traveling inside Tibet, and those have to be pulled by your travel agent. You get your visa yourself, but they must get the travel permit for you, and they need a good 3 weeks. When you're traveling in maybe November, December, or kind of the lower season, it can go down a little bit to maybe 10 days to 2 weeks. But when you're traveling in high season, like basically spring to fall, you really want to get those. You must get the information to your travel agent for them to book those flights, those permits, about 3 weeks in advance. So we're just sharing this with you. We get a lot of people who are not able to go on their trip because they come to us 2 weeks ahead of their trip, and they're just want to start going, and there's a fair amount of process that has to be done before that. So we hope I hope that by sharing this with you, it'll help you with your deadlines and getting ready for your trip. And please do ask us questions and share your experiences too. I'd love to hear all about it, and I'll be sharing more videos definitely as I'm preparing for this trip for Kailash. Okay, thanks everybody. See ya.